And Minister, thank you for coming in to take my motion. I know it's not under your remit, but and thank you for coming in on behalf of the Minister for Health. Under the new model of the ambulance service, the HSE want to move to 24-hour on-call duty with a view to eliminating, 24-hour on-duty cover with a view to eliminating the on-call duty. In the areas, and I know you're very familiar with the areas because I know you're a regular visitor to Kerry and you would know the Iveragh Peninsula and the Dingle Peninsula, I'm sure. And the new proposed model has its benefits and its merits, and there's no doubt about that, and it will work well up in areas like the Midlands and areas where there are other stations around it. But in areas like the Iveragh Peninsula and the Dingle Peninsula, where to the west of it, the next parish is America, it's not going to work very well. And the golden hour theory will go out the window, because there is no way you can, if the ambulance has left the Iveragh Peninsula or the Dingle Peninsula, it's going to take an hour at least to get the ambulance back down to them again, and then another hour to back to the hospital, because you know that the topography and the geographical layout of the terrain and the area, you'll know that it is quite vast, and it would take quite a while to get an ambulance down to that area. The proposed, or the present setup in the area, it's working quite well with 24-hour service, either on call or on duty, and it's working well, and the people down there have a service, and they know that if anything happens, or cardiac arrest or a stroke or whatever, that they have people at their doorsteps that will be there to do what they can to help them. Now, to me, I think the people of those peninsulas have as much right to life as anyone else, and we're continuously being accused of killing off rural Ireland. Well, I'm saying to us, don't kill the people with it. And I think what we should have here, that we could make an exception for the likes of peninsulas, because there is nowhere to go. The nearest station, say, to someone in Waterville, the nearest ambulance will be in the Killarney area or in the Kenmare area, and that's nearly 80 kilometres away. And there is no way that they're going to get down there in time if there's a second mishap down there. So I'd appreciate, maybe in your reply you will give some good news for me to say that the HSE are willing to relook at areas, the Iveragh Peninsula and the Dingle Peninsula, with a view to leaving the present setup there. So I await your reply, Minister. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Moloney, and as you know, I'm taking this on behalf of my colleague, the Minister for Health, James Riley. The HSE has confirmed that services are not being diminished in Iveragh or Dingle. However, traditional work practices within the National Ambulance Service are changing, as stations move from on-call to on-duty status. Being on duty means our highly trained paramedic crews are in ambulance stations and vehicles to respond to calls, rather than being called out to stations, which is inevitably slower in responding to emergency calls. It also means resources can be deployed dynamically based on need and demand patterns, not location, producing more flexibility and responsiveness and giving better response times for people in Kerry and a better service. Carsavine will, under the new system, have 24-hour on-duty cover. Paramedics will be present at all times, with an on-duty ambulance during the day and an on-duty rapid response vehicle at night. With dynamic delivery, an on-duty emergency ambulance will be available from within the region as required. I note that ambulance staff sought to eliminate on-call working, that it has been reduced from 44 to 16 hours a week, and this will continue as part of the improvement of regional services and response times. The HSE and the unions are committed to ongoing discussions with staff on implementing the proposals, including Carsavine and Dingle. In phase 1 of the proposal, East Cork stations with nighttime on-call will move to on-duty 24/7, 365 days a year. The more rural stations like Castletown, Bear, Kenmare, Bantry, Skibbereen and Carsavine are next, with the service evaluated after each phase. Dingle will be considered in phase 3, so no decisions have been made yet. With the unique geography of the peninsulas, they will continue to be serviced primarily by emergency ambulance, with an emphasis on on-duty rather than on-call arrangements. In the event of an ambulance being away from the area for a period, existing resources, either rapid response cars or emergency ambulances, will be dynamically deployed close to or on the peninsula to maintain an emergency response. Finalising the proposal depends on the work practice process, the National Service Plan and the realignment of existing HSE resources to support reconfiguration of ambulance services in Cork and Kerry. Current evidence suggests that patient outcomes can be improved by better treatment and stabilisation at the scene, followed by ongoing treatment and support to the most appropriate centre, even if that means longer transport times. On-duty service enables a modern emergency response service with paramedics, advanced paramedics, community first responders and GP out-of-hour services working together to respond to emergencies. This is consistent with international best practice and will ensure compliance with HICWA response standards. On-duty rostering is one of several service enhancements. Others include improved arrangements for control and dispatch, practitioner deployment and inter-hospital transfers. All of these will allow the National Ambulance Service to provide a better, safer, more comprehensive and more efficient emergency service to the people of Carrickfergus and to the Kerry region as a whole.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
Fully satisfied, Senator?
Not really, no. We had a meeting with the ambulance service and the HSE, and we got this reply several months ago, really word for word, to be honest about it. And we asked them to go away and review the situation and come back to us with proposals, how they were going to look after the peninsulas, because we certainly do not feel that this service will work just in those areas. I'm not saying it won't work all over the country, and as I said already, it has its merits, but in these particular areas, this type of service will not work due to the layout of the land. And they were to come back to us, and we have heard nothing since. So I'm a bit disappointed that they're not going to review it or make any changes to this. So I think I continue to pursue it with the Minister. I won't be giving up at this stage on it, I'm afraid. Thank you, Minister.